Folks, we have some breaking news right now. The Clinton campaign chairman, John Podesta, has just weighed in on whether the Russians hacked our election. He has just released a statement, quote, "We now know that the CIA has determined Russia's interference in our elections was for the purpose of electing Donald Trump. This should distress every American. Quote, we believe that the administration owes it to the American people to explain what it knows regarding the extent and manner of Russia's interference, and this should be done as soon as possible." That from John Podesta, a very strongly worded statement, folks, that has just come within the last couple of minutes. This after this war began to wage earlier in Washington, D.C., following reports that Russian hackers did indeed attack email accounts associated not just with the Democratic Republican committees, but the Republican National Committee as well. This is a focus of a war that's not actually with weapons, but between U.S. government and the agencies that are supposed to work with the president-elect. What's next in this hacking saga between the U.S. and Russia, and throw the CIA in there as well? With me now, CyberSponse CEO Joseph Loomis, who works with government agencies in cyber incident response technology and services. Joe, look, this is a he said, he said situation. A foreign state, let's just cut to the chase. A foreign state, if you believe this report from the CIA, has hacked into the U.S. and inserted itself into our election. How should we be responding?
I think the key here is if, the data is conclusive at this point, I think the America's voters should really be concerned about this, because it really is influencing our political system in a very negative way. I really don't want to speak to the validity of it, because I know that evidence in cybersecurity can be very, very difficult to keep track of, because it can be compounding. But if there's statements being made, I think we need to look at the evidence of where those statements are coming from first. I understand it's beneficial to the Clinton administration to make these statements, but at the same time, we really need to make sure that the statements are being made on really solid evidence.
Okay, why couldn't we stop it? I don't care who is yelling at whom and who's issuing the statement and all of that. Why couldn't we stop it? All of our agencies and all the taxpayer dollars that are put in to putting up some type of wall or catching these agents and these state agents.
The difficulty with cybersecurity, Liz, is how big the government network is. It's very complex, and you have insider threat issues with, obviously what we saw with Snowden. You've got a more recent case, and when you've got, all these moving parts, it's difficult that imagine having a house with an unlimited, infinite number of windows, and every day the windows are opening and closing. So it's very difficult to determine what window was left open tonight and which window was left, which ones were locked. And so that's why it's often difficult with the money spent. The manpower is just not there. We don't have enough cybersecurity analysts to really help defend our networks accurately. We need to really revamp how we educate and train people around cybersecurity to help our government and our country.
Well, I agree. You hear that digital knocking on the windows and doors and testing the locks like digital velociraptors. Like, remember that scene in Jurassic Park where they were testing the doors and the electric fences? You talk to anybody in Silicon Valley, they say it is happening constantly, and these state agents, often Russian, are very much to blame. But I have to bring in this. Is the president-elect, and I know you don't want to insert yourself in politics, but is he taking this seriously enough? He's kind of attacking the CIA, which led to this response from the former CIA spokesperson, who put out on a Facebook page this comment, and by the way, his name is George, let me see what his name is, George Little. Next Commander-in-Chief, President-elect Trump dismisses the work of the agency and calls its findings, quote, ridiculous. His sustained disrespect for the CIA and the wider intelligence community is nothing short of shameless. And you know what? He also makes the point that these guys put themselves out there to catch the bad guys, often at their own peril.
Yeah, I think I think we really need to reconsider that, if anything, recant that. I think that we're all on the same team. We shouldn't be attacking each other, especially if the intelligence community is going to be the one advising, the president-elect. I think we need to really, consider the source, and if these guys are the ones that are providing you good intelligence to make, really powerful decisions, we really need to recant our positions of not really being so defensive about these kind of things. I think we really need to be a little bit more open-minded to perspectives. I think our government needs to be a little bit more open-minded to the fact that, yes, we're hearing a lot of data from the CIA and FBI, CIA, et cetera, but we need to be open-minded and not be so defensive about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, come on, let's just know who the bad guys are and go after them, not each other. Joseph Loomis, thank you so much. He's the
Thanks,
CEO.
Liz. Good seeing you.
Anytime. As CEO of CyberSponse, they're doing good work over there.